What's going on, everyone? It's GeneralTarheel, your coach of the Charlotte Banks, bringing you the APA Season 6, Week 6 team build versus MadArcher and the Tennessee Trevenants. Coming into Week 6, we just picked up that nice 6-0 win against Carson and the Arizona Diamond Storms. We played very well. We made amazing switches and plays that need to be made that kind of seem risky. It was also easy breaking down his team mid-battle, which was important to know. And then I just found the right time to bring in Mega Pincer and get that sweep. And that's the offensive pressure that I want to keep up for the rest of the season, so hopefully I can do that. And looking at MadArcher, he is 2-3. He started off the season very well with his 2 wins, both 4-0s, and then he's been on a losing streak of 3 right now. So he definitely wants to get a win against us so that he can break that streak. But we want to get that neutral record and then raise our differential because we don't want to lose anymore. We want to get those wins because, you know, GeneralTarheel, no L's. So looking at MadArcher's roster, he's got Trevenant as his totem pick and mascot pick. You got Mega Swampert, which he was aiming for a rain team, but he got sniped by Mightykiss on purpose with that Polytoad, so he could not abuse the rain. The amazing Generation 7 Celesteela, Skarmory 2.0. You got Heatran, amazing Fire and Steel. You got Gliscor, bulky ground flying. You got Tornadus Eye. You got Heliolisk, one of my favorite electric types, normal electric. You got Tentacruel, water and poison. You got Granbull, bulky fairy. You got Druddigon, nice solid dragon type for its low tier. And you got Stinky Skuntank. And then you got the bulky Girder. Now, looking at his team, it wasn't that hard team building, like I say every week, because, I don't know, I think majority of the time I know what they're bringing, except for Carson. That was kind of a little mess up with all that. But, there's just certain things he has to bring to be answers to me. I also see him not bringing the Celesteela just because it's a great mon, and he's brought it every week so far. And, the Helios does a lot of damage to me. So, first off, I had the Celesteela. I had more of a defensive set. This is mainly to take on all my offensive things, such as Mega Pincer, Exadrill, even Walls Gigalith, anything like that. I cannot do anything to Celesteela, and it is ridiculous. I do have a negative speed nature. This is so he can run both Heavy Slam and Air Slash. Air Slash he must run on in order to take on my Chestnut, because otherwise Chestnut walls this thing unless it is a special attacker with safe it's fire coverage like Fire Blast. So I do have to scout for those if I do bring Chestnut this week, which is important to know. Of course, I got those leftovers and Beast Boost on it, so it can get any boost it wants afterwards. It would be defense in this case. But Celesteela is just very reliable. I just expect the Leech Seed and Protect. Protect mainly. Sometimes you might need to get enough health back, because even though Celesteela is very strong, it's, in my opinion, weaker than Skarmory just because it doesn't get access to recovery moves besides Elite Seed and Rest. So Skarmory gets that nice roost, which helps it out, but Celesteela, you have to just get it from leftovers and Leech Seed, basically. So I just see the Protect in order for him to get more health back over time in order to take on my offensive threats, so I feel like those two are a need. And the Heavy Slam just does a lot of coverage to my team. And once again, the Air Slash for the Chestnut, or if for some case he needs to do some sort of flinching. So Celesteela was very basic for him to bring like this, is what I expect. And moving on to Heatran, I see a somewhat bulky offensive Heatran. Special defense in order to take on my a little bit of my Milotic, to note. Chandelure mainly, and then also Explode. I have Grassinium Z, since this is one of his Z users, as well as Heliolisk, I believe. And Heatran can do damage. He gets that Bloom Doom for the Milotic, which is mainly the thing why I have the Grassinium Z. Another option, if he runs a Z move, would be Dark Pulse with the Darkinium Z in order to take on Reuniclus. But other than that, if he doesn't bring one of those, he would either bring Air Balloon or he would bring leftovers. I wouldn't really see him bringing anything else. But for other moves besides that, Bloom Doom, Solar Beam is Lava Plume just for overall stab. Stealth Rocks to get up on my field because, once again, I feel like my opponent always needs to bring those against me, because otherwise my threats are free and I can make easy doubles. And then, of course, Flash Cannon to take on like the Gigalith, Kyurem Black, etc. I have just enough speed here to outspeed non-speed invested Milotic. And some split between HP and special defense for the bulk, and of course the rest in special attack in order to put a hole in my team. And then moving on, Tentacruel is an obvious thing to come, because if you look at his Mega Swampert, my main answer to that is a Chestnut, and the perfect counter to Chestnut, if it's not Celesteela with Air Slash, is definitely Tentacruel. And that's because Tentacruel can easily wall Chestnut with its Leech Seed, its Drain Punch with Liquid Ooze. That way I lose health instead of gaining it from it. And then also it just gets that nice poison coverage in order to get Chestnut back on the especially defensive side, which Chestnut cannot really handle. Once again, I see a special defense set because he has all the defense he needs in Celesteela, and this Spadef gives him once again another answer to Chandelier, an easy switch into Milotic. Not so much Exploud, but this thing can also somewhat take on any possible hits it kind of needs to, like neutral hits, not super effective hits offensively it won't be able to take, but it can eat one return from a Mega Pinsir, which is important. But I see Rapid Spin, of course, to get get rid of any hazards. He does have possible defoggers in both Gliscor and Skuntank, though. If one of those were to come to replace hazard removal, I would only see Gliscor. Skuntank doesn't really have that fair of a matchup this game. Toxic Spikes, because I do no longer have a poison type on my team, which y'all will see in a little bit. Which would be able to get Toxic across my team if I'm not capable of getting a spin off with Drill or Defog with the Togetic. So I definitely see that as a possibility, and that would wear down my team for stuff like, say, his Heliolisk and other things to sweep. Scald for stab, and then Acid Spray to hit the Chestnut, and also to weaken anything for a possible special attack that he could follow up with from Heatran or Heliolisk. I like the Acid Spray coverage and tech. Not many people run it. Some people just run Sludge Wave because you can't run Sludge Bomb versus Chestnut because of bulletproof. So I just see the Acid Spray being more helpful than that. And then Helios. This thing does a lot of damage to me, which is very important. There's no way he's not bringing it. I love Helios because of Dry Skin. It just comes in on waters and then it threatens them out immediately with that amazing electric stab. I see Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, the amazing stabs, Volt Switch for the pivot, of course, and Thunderbolt in order to destroy my Milotic. Surf in order to take on my Excadrill or Gigalith if those were switch-ins. Excadrill if it wanted to come in on, say, a electric type move I predicted. Damn, it gets wiped away. That's it. And then Dragon Pulse, I just put that, he could have another form of coverage. I put Dragon Pulse just for Kyurem Black so he can not worry about it, because Kyurem Black does threaten frail things such as Heliolisk. So if he was capable of bringing this in on it, he could definitely threaten me out because of that speed tier he has of base 109, which is very important. And Heliolisk will do damage to me if I don't have a proper answer to it, so it's kind of important to know that. And then I see an Eviolite Girder. He does have an option of bringing like a more offensive, like say Choice Band Girder, but Eviolite kind of is a little bit better because of that defensive possibility. I just see Girder coming because of its fighting potential, because my team is heavily weak to fighting, and my main answer to that is my Reun just about, and he's got knockoff coverage for that, which is very important. So I got Drain Punch, Knockoff, Mach Punch, and Stone Edge. Mach Punch, of course, for any possible sweep I might have in Excadrill and Sand. If Kyurem Black might be Scarf or something of the sort, it's just good coverage. I got Stone Edge for the Mega Pinsir in case in case I overpredict on like Girder switching out, which would be important. And then of course Knockoff to get rid of any items to switch in, because most of the time I will have to switch out to a fighting type coverage, which is pretty important. And that's why I have the Eviolite, so he can take a hit from me and do damage over time. He does lack the special defense that he needs with Girder, but I feel like this will benefit him more with the HP and attack. So, and lastly, Mega Swampert. I see this coming for sure because my defensive answers are mainly just Chestnut. My Milotic can only take it on for 2 hits, basically, which because 252 Adamant Earthquake 2 shots Milotic. Not really 2-shot, max rolls 51%. It's like 42 to 51%, but it was just too risky, so I did go ahead and bring Chestnut. I'm just gonna say that, but I predict Waterfall, Earthquake, Ice Punch, Superpower. Waterfall for the overall stab, Earthquake for the stronger stab, take on Gigalith, Excadrill, etc. Ice Punch in order to take on my Chestnut, and possible, like, say, Togetic. And then I have Superpower in order to hit my Kyurem Black, and any other thing that seems necessary for that. I don't expect him to bring, like, Rain Dance or anything for this thing to get a boost, but that would be interesting, mainly because I have the possibility of countering it with Sandstream, so that's not a possibility. I just have enough speed down there in order to outspeed my Lodic, and then I put the rest for HP for him, and then of course run the Adamant, just do the most damage possible to my team. So, for the first member that I started building for this team was a free agent I made, which was dropping my Arbok, which I just didn't see any possibility in using it. Like, it does have an amazing move pool and stuff, but it's so weak and it's not that strong, and pure poison's not that strong by itself, in my opinion, so... And I even looked at future matchups in game, and Arbok was, like, nowhere possible, so... I wanted to give it a try, but at this point I definitely need to get more wins, so I want to focus more. So I decided to get some Fighting Stab that does really well actually against Archer's team and helps me in the long run. So we got Primeape now. Taz, like the Tasmanian Devil. We got Choice Scarf with Defiant ability. Defiant, of course, if I come in on Defog or any Intimidate, even though he doesn't have Intimidate. So if I came in on Defog from either Gliscor or Skuntank, then I get a +2 attack raise, which is very important. I brought Choice Scarf just to make sure I can outspeed certain threats on his team, such as Heliolisk. I did want to bring Choice Band for max power, but I felt like the speed tier was something I needed to make sure I had this game. Close Combat for the very strong stab. I have Earthquake for the Heatran and the Tentacruel. I have Ice Punch to take on that Gliscor, mainly only the Gliscor. And then I have Seed Bomb to absolutely destroy the Mega Swampert. I did feel like I wanted to bring U-Turn, but I also want to bring Seed Bomb just to take on the Mega Swampert. I could do a last second switch for Seed Bomb for U-Turn, depending on how much the Close Combat does to Mega Swampert, which I honestly haven't calced, so if I do, I will just point that out before the battle when I face Archer, and I'll make sure I note that. For 3 of my Pokemon on here, for the speed, I go to 279 or 280, that's just enough for me to outspeed the max speed Heatran on his team, because otherwise he basically breaks that speed tier and goes straight to like Tentacruel or Heliolisk. I do outspeed a neutral speed, of course, Tentacruel, so there's nothing to worry about there. It's just we're not going to outspeed Heliolisk at all, so there's no point in investing too much in speed, especially when I can get that nice Adamant nature. And then I just decided to split some up between defense and HP. So I see Taz doing a good amount this game, and if we put the U-turn on it, it will definitely get us a lot of momentum change, which would be interesting. So I'm still considering that as of the moment, but I had to get this recording done right now, so... So there's a nice warm welcome to Taz. Hopefully he does very good this week. And then we're going to move on to MVP, Kyurem Black. He is coming back. That was straight fire right there. He was left on the bench for the past 2 weeks, but I definitely see him putting in so much work this week. Once again, I'm running that Life Orb. I was considering Choice Scarf, but once I saw we had the Tasmanian Devil to help us out, I just felt like Life Orb was enough. Bring in Shiny Kyurem, because regular form Kyurem's only got me 2 or 3 kills right now. That's not the Kyurem Black I've seen in other leagues. So we need to step that up. He's not the MVP on our team right now. We got that strong Ice Beam, Fusion Bolt, Earth Power, Hidden Power Grass. No answers on his team whatsoever. That's simple. Ice Beam just, of course, takes on majority of his team. Fusion Bolt to take on a hit for that, to hurt the Celesteela. And I have Earth Power, of course, for the Heatran. And I have Hidden Power Grass for the Swampert. This has so much coverage on his team. There's no switch-ins. Nothing can take 2 hits from this. Just because based off the coverage and everything, it's honestly ridiculous. Kyurem Black will be getting a kill, or at least doing crazy damage to his team no matter what. It's just like that. He has no switch into this thing. I mean, Celesteela can take the mix between a Ice Beam and a Fusion Bolt probably, but that's just about the only thing on his team. This is the matchup you look for the most in Kyurem Black. Once again, I'm running that 279 speed just to outspeed certain threats, and then I got the 252 in special attack. This way I can make sure I can capitalize on my 3 special attacking moves, and then I only need 44 attack investment in order to make sure I get the 2-shot on Fusion Bolt for Celesteela. which was very important. That's if he's max defense, and since I suspect somewhat of a mix, I should be for sure getting a 2-shot on Celesteela with the Fusion Bolt, unless he's running like a Wakanberry. So, Kieran Black will be doing a lot of work this game, I promise. I will make sure to take care of it. And this I actually just changed. I did have to bring the Chestnut because I did notice that Mega Swampert. I did originally have Milotic Katara, but I decided to switch out with Chestnut. He does a decent matchup versus his team, but the Tentacruel is a main counter, and if he does have the Air Slash or Fire type coverage on Celesteela, that is a problem. But Chestnut does give me an answer to a Leech Seed switch-in against Celesteela, which is important. And I have the C-Bomb coverage, of course, for the Mega Swampert to be the direct answer. I have Leech Seed to get health back once that Tentacruel is gone. I have Earthquake for that Tentacruel, as well as the Heatran, because I'm not bringing Drain Punch this week, which means I technically can't hit Celesteela too much, but that's why I have the Super Fang to take on the Celesteela, because unless it's Air Slash, I can live one Fire-type move unless he's full Special Attack invested. And I can just get half of that Celesteela's health gone, which is very important, because once again, it only has access to that Leech Seed and leftovers, which is something to look at. It was fairly similar to what I brought last week for Boozer. It's just about max HP, max defense, and then some attack investment just to make sure I get enough damage in. I didn't have to speed creep for anything, I don't think, so I just left that blank. And he's going to be a very important switch into both the Mega Swampert and Girder on his team if that happens, so that's very important for us to know. He's definitely going to be an important defensive answer for this week. And next up, I have the Speedy Raichu coming this week. We have to run that max speed Timid in order to outspeed the Heliolisk. I am running Choice Specs with Lightning Rod. This is so he is scared to click Thunderbolt against my team, because as you see I also have Drill in the back, which I'll get to soon. So I have 2 answers to a Thunderbolt or a Volt Switch, so that might scare him in order for going for a Surf or something of the sort. Or if Helios has U-turn, because Helios does get access to that, he could click that instead. But I have Focus Blast in order to hit the Heatran on his team. I have Thunderbolt for overall stab, takes on the Celesteela mainly, and the possible annoying Tentacruel. And I have Grass Knot for the Mega Swampert, and I am bringing Hidden Power Ice in order for us to take on the Gliscor if that comes, because I do believe that is still a possibility. And I was wanting to bring like a Nasty Plot Raichu, but Focus Blast, Thunderbolt, Grass Knot, we cannot touch Gliscor really with that coverage, so I felt like I had to bring it just in case. If Prediction Game is on point, Raichu can definitely do a lot of damage, if not one-shot some things, even though it's only not at that base 90 special attack. But not really one-shot, but if it's like, if I get the correct super effective prediction, then that's all I really need. And if not, it's just weaken it for like Scarf Primeape in order to clean up, if Kieran Black doesn't one-shot the things at first. Next up, once again, Reuniclus Assault Vest. I wanted to bring Defensive Calm Mind this week, but Special Defensive Gigalith could not cut it. Mainly because Heatran does so much damage to it, and Helios does so much damage with Surf still. It's like, it's pointless. You're not a special defense switching at that point. Also, he has so many answers on that team for Gigalith, as in everything that I expected him to bring. The Celesteela, the Heatran. Heatran's somewhat of a answer to it. Mega Swampert, Tentacruel, Heliolisk with the Surf coverage, and then you got the Girder. Like, Gigalith's not going to do anything in that fight, especially even if he brings Gliscor and other things. Like, it's impossible for Gigalith to do anything, so it was pointless. I had to bring a Soulfest Spadef Reun, which I'll be okay with, but once again I'm running that Regenerator, so that's why I felt like I needed to bring Chestnut in order to have a Leech Seed switch in on the Celesteela. But for coverage wise, I have Energy Ball for the Mega Swampert, bringing a lot of grass this week, as you can tell, on every single Pokemon so far. Might be overkill, but we'll find out later on. Focus Blast in order to hit his Heatran, as well as Heliolisk very hard. Psyshock for stab in order to hit that Tentacruel super effectively, and as well as I am bringing Thunder in order to hit that Celesteela pretty hard and to weaken it as much as I can. Switch-ins for this isn't that much in my opinion for his team, especially since his Spadef answers I all have answers to. I just have to predict that right, or I can just use Reuniclus's amazing regen ability and just make doubles with Reuniclus, and I don't even have to worry about clicking moves. That's mainly what I did against Carson last week, and that worked out very well. So there's a few possibilities with that. Once again, I'm bringing more of a special defense option, but I do have some special attack investment. And any defensive move that he could go for, I go right in the chestnut, and I have no worries with that. So they're a good combo right there. And then lastly, I decided to just go with Dexter. I wanted to think about bringing other things, but Mega Pincer wasn't a possibility because Helios gets the outspeed, and he's got amazing defensive answer in Celesteela. So I decided to go with Excadrill. That way I still get rocks without Gigalith bringing Sandstorm when it's not going to do much for my team and it gets countered easily. And the Sandstorm would just hurt my team. So I decided to bring Excadrill with Stealth Rock. I got the Earthquake, Rock Slide, Rapid Spin. This is mainly because I don't want hazards on my field because I want Kieran Black just to destroy this game. It's also in case I bring the U-turn on Primeape, which is important. I'm running just a little bit in HP and SpDef, enough speed, again, for the speed threat to match with Primeape and Kieran Black. And then I got the max attack in order just to weaken his team. Rock Slide's not going to do too much to a defensive Celesteela, of course, but I just want to break that thing down over time. I do have the Earthquake, of course, for Heatran. It's just, it doesn't do that much, but I just needed to bring something, and Excadrill's always a reliable thing to bring. I do have the Rock in EMZ, and of course to hurt that Celesteela even more if he does think it's a safe switch in. This thing unfortunately does get walled by Gliscor, to where if I do see Gliscor, I'm not going to be clicking Rock in EMZ at all. I'll probably keep Excadrill in the back as a sack, or just necessary for spin later on, or use him as doubles, since I know if I bring an Excadrill, he will go into Gliscor. So it's just important things I need to know about his team, see what his answers are to everything immediately. Don't get too heavy on just clicking a move immediately, or if it's a defensive answer, he's going to go that, because he does have to fear a Swords Dance like I brought a few times with Excadrill, because that can always do a lot to a team, no matter if you have a Celesteela or not, like, honestly. So that'll be it for my team build this week. We are facing MadArcher the day this goes up, of course, so there's no point in me actually bringing it up, but we're facing him Friday. So I'm I might have be uploading the UPFC already the day before this, or I'm uploading it Sunday. So that's just an update for you, because the battle won't be going up till Saturday, because unfortunately Archer seems like he can only battle on Fridays, so that's what we had to go with. I feel like as long as we weaken his defensive options and nothing crazy happens with his team, because he could have potential of doing something I wasn't ready for easily, because I mean that's what the counter format's all about. But I should have it under control. Hopefully I just make the right reads and everything, and then everything will be good. So that'll be it for me, guys. I hope you're looking forward to the battle tomorrow. Sub, like, share, deuces.